And we're live. Co-host, co-host number 3. Hi, we're gonna fix this real quick. They're saying they can't hear you, Trey. And that's weird because I don't have you muted. Hold on, I'm gonna look at this real quick, guys. My apologies. Say something, please, so our audience can try to. Hello? Can someone please tell us if you can hear us? Because no feedback is. Because I can hear you, so I don't.
Well, the only one on is Kaza.
Kaza Raven.
That's who is in the chat so far. Well, at least who's talking. There's people watching, but they haven't chatted yet. We're not getting an answer. So, she hears us now. Okay, good.
Okay.
Thank you, Kaz. I don't know what was. I don't know. Anyway, okay. So sorry. Should we just start at the top?
Yeah, we'll start from the top.
What a strange problem.
Well, hello and welcome to the Modern Romantic Podcast, where we celebrate and inspire romanticism through passionate people doing incredible things. Hi, I'm auditioning for the role of co-host number 3. Hi, I'm Trey, and I'm joined by my co-host, Emily. Hi, Emily.
Hi. I don't know what number I am as far as co-hosts go, but I want to know who number 1 and 2 are if you're number 3.
That's the thing with like auditions. They don't ever let you say your name. They just give you a number, and you just walk in and be like, "Hi, I'm auditioning for this person."
Hi, I'm number 27. Okay, well, I don't know. I think I'm okay with being number 1.
Okay.
I'll wear the crown.
And you wear it well.
I'll take one for the team.
Thank you. Well, with reference to that, I really want to dive into our guests this evening. So, would you do the honors of introducing our fabulously funny guest here today?
Absolutely. Welcome to the podcast, the incredible Susan Berger. From Broadway to the silver screen, Susan's journey in acting is extraordinary, and she's going to share with us her experiences, stories, and a little bit of her world from entertainment and writing. Welcome to the podcast, Susan.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. This is so exciting for us.
Believe me, being asked to be on a podcast about books is the dream of a lifetime.
Awesome. Well, welcome. We're so glad to have you. So you're multi-talented, you're multifaceted, and so you are. I mean, we know you as an actress because you were in so many things, Broadway, off-Broadway, and also television. And then you're also a writer. And what else? You make like a mean casserole or something too, right?
I babysit well.
Okay.
My grandsons were over this weekend. I just got back from Vancouver where I was shooting a commercial. And my son immediately called me and said, "Will you watch them so we can go to a movie and you can have them make the birthday cake?"
Aww.
One is 3. He made the birthday cake while the 8-year-old read the recipe.
Oh.
I was tired.
Now the question is, how did they do? How was the final product?
Yeah. Came out well.
Oh, good.
I'm sure you had some supervision in there.
Especially the frosting. That was really good.
Ooh.
We used fudge.
What kind?
There's a microwave fudge recipe that's really easy. And we made it vegan because their dad is vegan.
Okay.
and tastes just the same and just as good. So
Oh, good. And so it was his birthday?
it was my grandson Walter's 8th birthday. And in the past, he's made his own cake, but this year he elected to read the recipe to us. So,
Oh.
all right.
He promoted himself to.
Yes, he promoted himself to head reader.
What a cool idea. Like, make it for your own, and then at some point you start directing others of how you want your cake to be made.
Oh, he's very into that now. Yes, he put a lot of eyes on it. He got a 7, and then he put 2 candles in front of it to cross out 7 and then put an 8.
I love that. Um, so with you being so like multifaceted and apparently an incredible oh, I completely lost the word, which is terrible for me. Um,
Probably grandmother.
that yes. So and an incredible grandmother. Um, how did you make the transition between all of these different facets of being an actor, being on Broadway, going to television, and then into writing? How did you make such transitions between these different art forms?
Well, it's a long adventure. And I started out in acting, which is what I wanted to do more than anything. Went to England thinking, oh boy, I can be an actor there. I'd just gotten my master's at the University of Hawaii, and I flew from there to England. Got there, realized, oh, I'm here. What is the name of a theater? Better still, what is the name of a hotel? I really knew nothing. And as it turned out, they have an extremely strict labor policy. And while I did get hired, I couldn't have it because they take 6 weeks to check it out to see if anybody else in the British Commonwealth or any American married to a British citizen can do the role. So basically, you're out. And
Oh.
after that, I went back, went to New York, got lucky at some point, did some, was married to a fellow actor, and he wanted to come out here. And I said, no, you can't, because I was going back to do a Broadway musical. I go with you, you have to come with me. So we went out, made it here in 77, and he got lucky in 79 and got a role in Urban Cowboy. And he played John Travolta's uncle. And after that, his career just took off. So at the same time, I had my first child, and I decided that the world didn't need me enough, that I should turn my kids over to somebody else. So I took a break for 15 years while they were growing up. And then I started back and I started in improv because if you leave it for 15 years, nobody believes you can do it.
Mm.
And so casting directors would see me and they say, well, you're really good, but they're not sure you can do it. So I did a 7-year stretch of nothing but improv. And then I got lucky and got some plays, and then more improv. And my son, who is also an actor, got me a manager. And that manager, Entertainment Lab, made my career take off.
Awesome.
So there's a point to having children.
Well, love this.
Well, I wasn't going to do it. I mean, who wants kids? But it turned out they were really, it's a good thing.
So, like, what was it when you say that your career really took off? What was like one of the roles that you had that like really was one of those, oh my gosh, my life is changing moments?
Well, the biggest one, of course, is jury duty. I have done lots of television and film, and I was very lucky in 2020 to be cast in Joel Cohen's Tragedy of Macbeth with Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand, and that was magical. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I don't know, jury duty is different. it was an improv audition. You had to do 2 monologues.
Mhm.
And normally you get lines and you say them. But this one, they wanted improv. And I didn't think I could do it.
Even though you had a history of improv.
Right, but I hadn't done it in a while. And
Okay.
my son Chris stayed in it and I went to UCB too. And I went to their musical theater thing, but he was in it much longer. And here's the deal. You may have noticed, chronologically gifted. Nobody wants me on their improv team because it's like being on a team with a child or a dog. I get all the attention. They say, "Oh, look at her. She still talks.
Oh.
Oh my God, that is so cute." And when other than doing classes, the only person I'm on a team with is my son, who will not call me grandma or mom, and does improv the way it's supposed to be done. But when this audition came in and they said, "We just want 2 improv speeches," I thought, well, I had an idea, but it wasn't a great one. And my son looked at me and said, "No." And he handed me a motorcycle vest and said, "Put this on. You came to Los Angeles in the 80s with your all-girl band, and you broke up over drugs. And now you're working at a motorcycle bar bartending, but they all respect you." I mean, that was a great idea. And then he said, "For the next one, you are the manager of a restaurant in a strip mall in Chatsworth, which is a very tiny part of the valley. And if you leave to go jury duty, the whole thing will fall apart." So those were great ideas, and I had a lot of fun with it.
That's
But
that's the way to go.
I had occasionally got recognized for, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend or Two Broke Girls or Brooklyn Nine-Nine or some of those. But most of the time, and nobody goes up to me and says, "Hello, you were so great in American Horror Story. I totally loved you. I reckon."
I was going there next, but that was something Trey said to me before the show. He was like, "Oh, it's her." What did you say, Trey? It was
You knew me?
Yeah.
Those were some of my favorite scenes when you came on because I was honestly legitimately terrified. That was such an incredible performance.
It was honestly, legitimately terrifying to do it, because what the audience did not see on, I think it was this episode 108 or something, is we dragged these kids, put stakes through them, and then set them on fire. And the shot they chose to use was an overhead shot. We did that 7 times or 8 times, and we were right in front of it
Wow.
as they set them on fire. And the whole crew was, we had people by and they had masks and stuff like that, but it was still absolutely a PTSD moment.
Sure.
I can imagine, but still, that was my oh my God, that's her moments of like, and she's gonna be on the show? Yes.
But I won't do that kind of thing.
Perfect.
Well, my night's made.
Crazy. I couldn't watch it. I'm not a horror fan.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing is, when I was here in 1969, my friend dragged me to a seer who was going to tell my fortune. And she said my future was in horror films. And did I have a thing for Vincent Price?
Wow.
No.
Like a thing
thought,
or a thing? Like
like a thing
it's
for
Vincent
Price.
Price.
Well, I've met him, but no. And I thought that's the weirdest thing ever, because I would never, ever choose to do a horror film.
Right. Wow.
For me, American Horror Story was like at my limit of things, and even sometimes there were just episodes that I couldn't. But I don't know what it was.
It was really scary, and I couldn't watch it at all. I couldn't. Somebody had to find where I was on it and tell me, and then I told somebody to tape it for me. And then the weird thing is, Christopher, my son, Christopher Corbin, and I both did the one about Nazi hunters. Hunters. It's on HBO with
Hmm.
Al Pacino.
Oh yeah.
And I'm in the first episode of season 1. I figured, well, it's scary, but it wasn't scary. Not my scene. It was just I was a survivor, and I was pointing the finger at somebody, and I had a Czechoslovakian accent. There was nothing scary about it. And then at the beginning of that episode, when I sat down to watch it, they did the worst thing. They stabbed out somebody's eyes and put them in a butter statue. And I thought, I cannot. So when we got to my son's episode, he was in episode 6, I think, and he was a Nazi. And I said, you cue it up. I am not watching another in a minute of this. And his was scary, but not as scary as that first scene in season 1. That was just,
Wow.
I don't like things with eyes ever.
Yeah. But I think after watching that and then getting the reprieve of like being recognized with some more comedic performances in My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and then especially with Jury Duty, can you talk to us a little bit about what it's been like to be filming for that and what your kind of preparation is for that kind of show?
We had no idea what it was. It was advertised. The auditions were as an untitled legal drama. And after I was doing it, I spent a year trying to explain to people what we had done.
Yeah.
And going in, I was fairly scared because I had no idea what we were going to do and what we were supposed to do. But as it turns out, Jury Duty is a very tightly plotted show, but there were no words. The words are ours.
Yeah. I love that.
And what I love is that you had 14, as many as 14 and 15 people in a room doing an improvisation with a guy who did not know we were actors. And at no time was there any over talking. And if you've ever seen improv, normally if you get a bunch of people together, there's over talking, and there wasn't. But it's because we had goals.
Yeah.
There were things that were supposed to happen. And then some things were just magic. For those of you who don't know the show, it is a comedy kind of, what is it?
It's kind of like a reality show, but it's not a reality show because you can't say it's scripted really.
No,
But it
it's a
is planned.
documentary comedy on Jury Duty. And the
Yeah.
guy who's our hero, a whole bunch of people applied to be in a documentary about jury duty. There was an
Yeah.
ad on Craigslist and everything. And Alexis Sampietro, one of the line producers, went through and did the questions. And she interviewed over 1,500 people. And out of that, chose 3 or 4 that could maybe do this. And some of us were supposed to have come from that thing, that we weren't all just jury duty people that came in. Some of us came in to try to be on the jury because we knew we'd get paid to be in this documentary, and the pay was $400 a day. And so people wanted to do it.
Sure.
And so it starts out for everybody in the room where they take you when you have to apply for jury duty. And things happened in there. And it happens that there is one guy in there that's a celebrity, truly, James Marsden, who's been called in for jury duty, who does not want to be on jury duty. It was so from there, they got selected. And during this whole process, Ronald Gladden, who is the star, he was a 29-year-old contractor who just sold his solar contract business and was looking for something interesting while he went to another job, which happened to be manager of a Home Depot. But the minute he got on the set with us, the thing is, we all fell in love with him. There were lots of because we were doing a documentary, there were always cameras.
Yeah.
And at the end of every day of filming, Alexis and Jordan Cohen would take us into a room, and you see some of this on jury duty. You don't see them, but you see them asking us questions about what happened today and what we thought about it. And it was really interesting because the one thing is we needed to stay in character because he couldn't find out we weren't what we said we were.
Right.
And in episode 7, by the way, there are 8 episodes. And at the end of episode 7, after the deliberation, the judge tells Ronald he has not been in what he thinks he has been in, but he's been on a hero's journey. And then on episode 8, we show him how we did it.
Yeah, that
And
was the payoff.
Our writers' rooms, and there were the regular cameras, and then there were the hidden cameras, and then when there were things like there was a scene in the restaurant Margaritaville, all cameras were hidden, and everybody in that restaurant, waiters, everybody was an actor. There was nobody in there that they couldn't control, and it was a pretty amazing thing to do.
What a production. Yeah.
Wow.
The thing is, we finished it, I think, in April of 2022, and they did not release it till April of 2023. And none of us had any idea what was going to happen with it. And they did a little, red carpet screening for us all. And we saw the first 3 episodes at the Culver Theater in Culver City. And at the end of it, the director stood up and said, well, we can be proud of what we did, but nobody knew if it was going to be anything anybody'd like.
Right.
And then one of our writers, Carrie O'Neill, who is also a wonderful improvist, put on TikTok, I just Truman Showed a man. And it took off. And it went crazy. And it's been crazy ever since. And I can go to the grocery store and have people stop me. This has
awesome.
never happened before.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, hopefully the people that stop you say excellent things to you.
Everybody says nice things, and they like the show. And the thing is, one of the things that you come away with is, yes, hope and belief in your fellow humans, because Ronald's got to be one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And mostly what happens in this show is kindness.
Yeah.
And somebody said we out-lassoed Ted Lasso. I don't think so, because that's one of my favorite shows. But I think that. And we're nominated, which is amazing. And we're about to do screenings for the Screen Actors Guild Awards, and then maybe for the Golden Globes. We are not Oscar material. They don't do TV shows.
Right. So it's just not.
But it's been good for my writing because all of a sudden I could put on TikTok, hey, I'm also a writer. And I write romance, time travel romance with older heroines. And people look at it. And it's been an adventure. I have 2 novels I haven't published yet. Jennifer Cruzy, who you had on the show, is one of my favorite authors. And I follow her blog religiously. And
she has.
Oh, God, wants to. It's under Susan B. James. And the first one is Time and Forever, and it was nominated for Best First Book and nominated for Best Time Travel. The second one, which I got the rights back from the publisher, just got them back and republished on Amazon, is called Maybe This Time. And that won Best Contemporary in 2019, and it won Best Time Travel, and it won for audiobook. It came in second for Best Audiobook.
Nice.
And they're all available, by the way, I have to tell you this, as audiobooks in your library for free. I haven't figured out how to get the other ones in, but when I was self-publishing, Maybe This Time, they wanted suggestions for the cover and they wanted symbols. And I thought, I don't remember. And I borrowed my own book from the library. Because I don't generally have audiobooks. And I really liked it. It was a good book. I was very happy with it. So then I went and got the third one, Irish Magic, and listened to that. I have to go back and listen to the first one, Time and Forever. which is about two women in their 60s who accidentally time travel to 1969.
Hmm.
And one finds an old love and one finds a new love. But the thing is, time travel has rules.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do? And oh, thank you. Somebody said, excuse me
Yeah.
while I go buy these books.
Yeah.
I have two more that I need to either send out or self-publish. And the first one is called Lord Byron's Daughter,
Mm.
and speculative fiction about Ada Lovelace. And if you are a computer person, you may know who that is. Ada Lovelace was Lord Byron's daughter, the mad, bad villain of the Regency. And she had a very interesting education. And she got with a person who decided he could invent a machine that could think. And she said it can do more than that. And she wrote the first computer algorithm in 1824.
Wow.
Wow.
First War Department named the first computer language after her, Ada. And I thought, wow. And, you know, when they did that movie, The Imitation Game, Alan Turing used her work. And I thought, wouldn't that be fun if she time traveled? So in my book, she time travels to 1941 and World War II, and actually does meet Alan Turing, but and other things happen in the book. The next one is called The Witch's Garden, and it is a rom-com with a woman who was a canceled TV star like Ellen with a big talk show who got canceled, goes back to Vermont to the house her grams left her, and finds out her grams left her more than a house. There are a bunch of magical instruments and recipes, and somebody expects her to use them. And there's the race to apparently there are other witches in town and they're looking for the stuff. And there's a cat, of course.
Of course.
And her worst enemy from when she was there as a child is now turned into a vet and seems to be a nice person. And also her daughter, who hadn't spoken to her in 20 years, has come back with a child. So it's fun.
Wow.
Okay, these are some twists and turns.
Yeah.
I love these plots. I really want to read the one about Ada Lovelace meeting Alan Turing. That sounds incredible. I will be picking up.
I'm happy to give you a PDF of it. I have got to decide whether. What I was wondering is, I do know that like Soulmate Publishing would publish it for me. I know that, but I was going to try to get an agent and see if I could go a little more mainstream because of Jury Duty.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that can happen. I've sent it out to one more agent, and if it doesn't, I'm going to self-publish. It's been edited. I would never, ever put out a book that wasn't edited by somebody else, because I've seen books that have not been edited, and I'm not. The only person I know who's really good at it is a woman named Sarah Wind, Wynde, and she's a wonderful author, and she's got a series about ghosts. And I asked her, and I have a blog, and I interviewed people, how she did it, but she used to be an editor, and among other things, she reads the entire book backwards to herself. I could never do that.
We both did the same thing. Yeah. Honestly, we have Kaz in our chat said, please, 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 if anything, get into book talk side of TikTok and your books will fly off the shelves. I don't know if you're aware of the power of book talk.
I am aware of, I'm on TikTok, and that was all because of Jury Duty. But I did put on my TikTok, which I think is under Susan James Berger, my TikTok. I'd have to look.
Okay.
And a funny story about that, I have heard of TikTok, but I was never going to do anything. And Jury Duty took off, and some of us from the cast were at a women's film festival to see a movie. And they said, oh, you have to be on TikTok. And I said, I have no idea how. And they said, we'll show you. And so they took my phone and I held it landscape, which you can't do on TikTok.
No.
They didn't tell me that you should. Oh, thank you. They didn't tell me that you needed a mic. So my first TikTok is